You know how dogs bid farewell to their owners before they pass away? This 15-year-old dog is already equivalent to over 80 years old for humans. Perhaps aware that its time is limited, the elderly dog doesn't want to sadden its grandmother. Lately, it secretly escapes from home every day and vigorously digs holes in the open space, seemingly preparing its final resting place. Grandma says Abby hasn't eaten anything for several days. She tries to entice the dog with a meat bone, but Abby is already at the end of her strength. Abby can't bear to see the disappointment on Grandma's face. She runs out of the house and sits under a tree, gazing quietly at the sea, as if reminiscing about the beautiful years she spent with Grandma. It turns out Grandma used to be a haño, female diver, in her youth, engaged in diving and fishing for seafood for many years. Whenever Grandma went diving, the dog would sit under this tree and wait for her. Unbeknownst to them, 15 years have passed, and the small tree from before has grown into a big tree. Now both the dog and Grandma have grown old, like two elderly people in their 80s. Grandma, who is advanced in years, hasn't been to the sea for many years, but lately, the dog often squats under the tree, lost in thought. Perhaps it has become a habit, or maybe it can't bear to leave in this way. Grandma worries that the dog, who hasn't had a drop of water for several days, might be getting sick, so she calls a veterinarian for help with the examination, but the doctor says the dog is too old, and her bodily functions have already deteriorated due to old age. Unfortunately, her time is probably running out. However, the old woman can't accept this sad reality. During mealtime, she thinks the dog is still hungry, and it weighs heavily on Grandma's heart, so she makes a bold decision. The 85-year-old woman, for the sake of the dog, puts on the diving suit she hasn't touched for many years. The old woman wants to personally catch a feast of delicious seafood for the dog. When the dog sees Grandma return with a bag full of treasures, Abby feels like she has returned to the past in that moment. She loved eating the seafood Grandma caught.
At 29 and I find myself wondering what did happen to the last 10. I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again. It's kind of funny that the more we pass time, the more we need to set them rewind. And 19 was the year I had to leave you, but now I'm seeing all the signs. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you.